So we had to go in there. So I went in there. I was looking for a campsite for my tent for the family. So I walk in there and I says, I would like to get a campsite for my family. She says, you got a reservation? I says, reservation? She says, oh yeah, you got to have at least a year's reservation to get in there to campsite. And she says to me, how many in your party? I says, 10. She says, well, what party are you with? I said, that's my family. Now you know why I got frustrated? That's how we saw the Grand Canyon. Get in and get out. And then where we parked, we finally found, I remember we finally found a spot where we could set camp. Now it was 20 or 30 miles away from the canyon. No water, no sewers, no grass, just black gravel. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember Mom reminded you many times of it.
But you guys, you're great. And you remember stories, which you will, that I probably forgotten. But let me tell you the greatest thing that I remember about our family. How many people do you all know who come from a family of 8 children? 10 in the family. How many? Very few. So when you have 8 children in your family, and somebody, who asked me how many kids were you? I says, all Marion and I ever wanted was 2, a boy and a girl. That's all we wanted. Well, God love her, and God loved me because He gave me the big genes. 1 boy, another boy, another boy, another boy, another boy. I says, what the hell? 5 boys in a row? I says, what's going on? So she says, I want that girl. I says, okay. Now she finally gets pregnant. She's ready to deliver. Now, Dr. Fitzgerald, God love him, he was our doctor. He took us through so much. He says, I told her, I said, I'm not even going to come to the hospital. After 5, call me, let me know. Don't even bother me. So, that's a lot of BS, so I did go. Now, he comes out, and I'm waiting for him to tell me, well, you got another boy, right? He comes out, he's got a grin on him from ear to ear, up to here. I says, no. He says, yes. I says, no. I says, prove it. He took me into the nursery and showed me it was a girl. I couldn't believe it. Now, what do you think Mary Ann says?
Another one. Yeah.
She has to have a sister. What come up?
I did not pass for a sister, but I could,
Lori just delivered herself.
And then you're
let me tell you something about having 8 children, and this is the God's truth. I've never, ever known a family who was as close as my family. If there's one thing that Marianne and I ever tried to put into our lives and into our children was, you're a family, you love each other, you protect each other, and you stay together. There's nothing we can't do as a family that we can't work out. I never want to see anybody fighting over stupid stuff. I want us to be a family. We'll work it out together. And here I'm 84 years old, and God love your mother. I'm sorry that she's not here. We were together for 37 years, and to this very day, I marvel at my children, how close they are, how much fun they have together, how much BS they can talk about each other. And everything you hear is true. But what I remember most about my children is not the glory years, the football. What I remember most is when they were like Dookie, or like the young kids, the fun that we had raising them. I spent more time, and I loved every minute of it, coaching my kids playing baseball. All my boys, or going to my girls' basketball or volleyball games. Remember, girls, and softball games, Andrew and them. I loved that. That was those years. From the time I was 40 till I was 60, they were like a blinking of an eye. But that was our life, and that was what your mother's life. She loved that. Your mother loved it. And all the years that your mother and I were together, which was 37 years before she passed on, never once, not once did I ever hear her say, why did we have so many kids? She loved every one of her children. She took care of them. She never complained about them, and neither did I. The biggest thrill I got when her and I'd sit down on New Year's Eve, and you guys can know what happened there. Who had more fun on New Year's Eve than us? I'd go to Walgreens, I'd buy 15 bites of ice cream, whipped cream. I said, go ahead. Right?
Ice cream Sunday.
We passed that on to our girls.
Sold out.
That's right.
If there's anything you could leave your children, it's that.
Good for you.
It's not wealth, it's not fame, you know, that's all fades. But if you got memories that you can take to your grave with you about the great, at least to think the great job that you've done with your family, I think that's the greatest reward in heaven. You know, God didn't promise us a rose garden. We're going to have thorns in them, and God knows there's a lot of thorns. You know, look at me. After Mary Ann died, I never wanted to get married again. I swear to God, I did not. Karen came into my life out of nowhere, and you know Karen. She's 20 years older than I am. I says, I do not want to get married. She pursued it, and I figured, you know, someday you're going to be 84. You're going to need somebody to take care of you. Look what God did to me. Now I'm taking care of her. She's in a nursing home. No, there's no guarantees in this life. You got to play the cards that are dealt to you and hope you don't get too many jokers, and go on from there. You're going to have a lot of disappointments in your life. There's going to be a lot of setbacks, but you can always say one thing: it could be worse. You look around you, and there are people who are better off or worse off than you are. That's all. You know, that's the only thing I can leave my family. And I thank you all for those great memories. And you know, like they say, you guys can remember stuff that I can't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So thank you for everything. God love you all.
I told you this before. Now that I have kids, I realize how exhausting it can be, and I only have 2. I don't know how you and Mom did it with 8. I truly don't. Maybe lots of alcohol. I'm not sure.
Well, you know, that's true. But you got to look at it this way. Your mother is the one that raised most of you, because I had to go. Yeah, I know, but I had to go out and make sure that you guys were well taken care of. You had a home. And, you know, you always were taken care of. You had, like I said, I never ever heard her complain, ever. And let me tell you, I washed a lot of diapers with her in our time. That's before the disposables. But those are my memories of my family, and they're great memories.
Cheers.
Cheers.